And of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we officially start our ceremony today, unveiling, of course, our amazing partners and sponsors. And we start off with, of course, the Premier Soccer League. And of course, making it all possible for 2019-2020, MTN celebrating 25 years of excellence. And of course, the team in the final, Highlands Park FC, going up against SuperSport United. And a big thank you to all that are making this happen. And once again, this is a big night. The MTN8 Wafa 2019-2020. One team will walk away with 8 million rand tonight. And the question we ask, Kumbuza Subuzayo, Uguti, which team will it be? Will it be SuperSport United?
Or
would it be
live, yeah?
Highlands Park?
Mzansi Football's early season prize is up for grabs at the Orlando Stadium, where Highlands Park look to make cup history up against the informed top 8 side over the last 3 seasons, SuperSport United. On that note, a very good evening it is to you wherever you may be on our beautiful continent, as the MTN8 sets, well, a new standard, raises the bar in the way of a build-up towards the cup final here in South Africa. It really has been breathtaking. The last hour or so leading up to the climax of the early season, and it's 2 sides that have had the best start to the season so far from a cup point of view, and one could even argue in balancing that with the league that, of course, look to have a bit of joy nice and early. Highlands Park up against SuperSport United, live from the Orlando Stadium. I have the absolute joy of introducing Brian Mate ahead of this game here this evening. What a start. What a feeling to be a part of all of this live at this venue. But what a game that still lies in prospect after the last hour, Brian.
The stage is set. This is a scene setter. We've seen a very good production. Of course, we've mentioned Kalawa Jasmine, the celebration, the choreographers, well put together. And I think when you look at the branding, the teams, the stakeholders behind all of this, it was well produced. And you can only imagine what goes through the mind of the players, hearing the sounds, walking out and finding the fans that have come out here. And all we can say, the stage is set for them to come out and perform and showcase what got them through to the finals. Their work will speak for themselves, but what is going to be critical, Caesar, is who puts their best foot forward.
The South African Police Service will play the national anthems as both these sides make their way out of the tunnel. We look forward to that. That's for SuperSport United. They've enjoyed this tournament. They've had so much success in just reaching the finals alone over the last 3 years. Kaitano Tembo will look to match, if not beat, the man that sits opposite him here today in Owen Degama. Former players that have played the game here locally, that now lead sides that, of course, look to be cup champions early on.
Well, he was part of it. He played against Cape Town City, lost it against Cape Town City. He would want to win it. Owen Dagama, of course, as a coach that came into the PSL and said, ours is a learning curve. Ours is to stay in this season. They ended up top 8. Look at where they are now in terms of the achievement to be part of the MTN8 final. The lessons learned, they would want to keep it, of course, with the trophy. based on the hard work that they've put in.
For some players, this is the biggest moment of their career. Some have had to wait a while in their professional careers to get to this point, a climax of a cup competition. Others are still young and enjoying this for the very first time. But two clubs at very different levels in their PSL experience and cup experience at the top flight of South African football, enjoying a special, special moment indeed.
It certainly is a special moment. You talk about the experience of certain individuals within the teams. Highlands Park, of course, being the home team, based on the draw that was conducted. Telangobeni, very experienced in the side, of having won trophies with Mamelodi Sundowns. He brings in that world of experience. SuperSport, we know they've appeared in the final themselves, but they haven't won it under this man, Kaitano Tembo. They would want to do better, of course, this time around, on a ground which launched the career, of course, of Goran Igesen, because he joined SuperSport and won a trophy on this particular ground.
Well, just the build-up alone is something a little bit different. Even for those that may have gotten to a final in the past, they'll feel something special about this. For a country that's hosted a Confederations Cup and an AFCON Cup final, a World Cup final, this will be a special feeling, right up there with the very best in build-ups, just leading up to the final. Even for the officials, they'll feel this is special. A new standard set in, well, reaching a climax of a cup competition, and it's one we are hoping to experience for many years going forward in very many fashions in the different cup competitions.
Well, we talk about this very ground. This is where one of the MTN8 finals was played. Ajax played against Golden Arrows, and the champions were, of course, Golden Arrows, as we're looking at Umam Mato, who is also in charge of Golden Arrows. So she's the CEO of the PSL. So it's quite a big occasion for the players. As they line up there, they're looking forward to singing the national anthem.
Mzansi's finest, men and women in blue, helping to, well, provide a proud moment for the Rainbow Nation ahead of what should be an interesting 90 minutes, if not 120, and if it doesn't go all the way down to a penalty shootout in separating SuperSport United and Highlands Park. What a build-up. The last hour truly unbelievable in the way of leading up to this final. They'll be feeling it too, both sets of players, as we now break it down with the starting 11s, getting into football matters. Telangobeni amongst the few out at Highlands Park that have enjoyed cup success. He's done so on 3 separate occasions. He will look to enjoy what has been a great cup competition where he hasn't conceded a goal as yet, whilst Peter Shalulile has been outstanding in the way he's gone with this PSL season. He'll look for a goal though in the first in the MTN8.
They are very direct in their approach. They attack with pace, but they stick to the structure. And that structure, of course, is going to be key in terms of Telangoven, who brings in wealth of experience. For Highlands Park at the back, he's going to be key in terms of the distribution and organizing that back four. We're also looking at this man, Mutobi Mvala, makes late runs into the opponent's 18 area, covers so much ground. The deadly Peter Shalulile, he'll be looking for some good passes just behind the defenders. A prolific goal scorer.
Well, Owen Degama said just about all of the right things leading up to this final, in players having a chance here to stand up and, well, make heroes of themselves here. Up against Caetano Tembo's SuperSport United, where Clayton Daniels' leadership qualities have truly come through in leading the side defensively. But this has very much been a Matsatsantsa Kabuza tournament. What, with 3 goals and 2 assists in this MTN8, he has been the informed player.
Inform, but it's because of the supply that he gets, organized in defense. The experience, of course, has to come from the goalkeeping department, but you also have Clayton Daniels, who's a leader in that department, alongside Grant Kekana. Look out for the man who pulls the strings in that midfield in Dean Fairman, because he's got Mukwena alongside him, who's creative. Bradley Grobler will feed from Matsatsantsa Kabuza.
A former United player leading them from the bench with experience. Up alongside him here for Caetano Tembo. He's been here before, looking for joy now in a game where the officials are amongst the very best you could find in between the borders of South Africa as well. Victor Gomes leading the refereeing team. He himself, along with those he's working with, will look to ensure that they aren't a major talking point unless they're getting praise at the end of this final.
Your first tackle as a defender is crucial in this sort of situations. As a striker, a shot on target opening stages is also vital. We're talking Shalulile, we're talking Bradley Grobler. Your distribution in the midfield if you're Mvala. Your first pass has got to be good. If you are Mukwena, we know what you can produce. But it's containing the nerves that's going to be crucial. Leadership in this ground and on this occasion is going to be critical to try and calm the nerves.
The Orlando Stadium hosts the 2019 MTN8 final, and in the SuperSport United in the blue, attacking the left of your picture, whilst Highlands Park in the red will attack the right. This a venue that, of course, hosted a final that was rather memorable in the way Golden Arrows went about picking apart Ajax Cape Town some years ago in their 6-0 scoreline. One of the best cup finals in PSL history in some people's books. Will we have yet another of that class, of that quality? But with the build-up we've had alone, it should be a day to remember.
Smiling after hearing us talk about that Golden Arrows team, where he had to wear a suit. I think that was the first time I saw him wearing a suit, and he won that MTN8 final. What a team he had assembled against Ajax team that had Franklin Kane. But it is Clayton Daniels up against Shalulile. They have to get organized. Dean Fairman critical in terms of helping out in defense.
Brandon Williams in the past has won the Telkom Knockout, the MTN8, plus the Nedbank Cup on a couple of occasions here with the early touch. In fact, for both goalkeepers, they would have experienced cup joy in various competitions on either side of the field. Here's Grabla. Early ball, there will be height in there in the way of Rusike as well as Kabuza when they do go for the aerial bombardment. SuperSport United. Rusike combining with Mugwena out to that far side. They've done well in getting to the byline and in the end win the early corner in a side looking for the bright stars.
They've added a bit of a problem for Highlands Park because they're not only playing with two players who are deadly in Bradley Robler and Gabuza. There is Ruzike they've got to deal with. So the organization at the back has got to be pretty organized. They've got to communicate better. They've got to share responsibility. They've got to pass on players.
The outspringing corner towards the near post is defended by Munyai. In what season he's having out at Highlands Park since his arrival from Black Leopards. His second season in the AFSA Premiership. Sees him reach a cup final. With the early ball in, it's the men in blue that keep the men in red on the back foot in the opening few exchanges.
They've got to do more. They've got to be better organized. Early stages, they're making inroads in terms of bringing the crosses on that right-hand side.
Towards that far post this time, it is kept alive with the good aerial presence that SuperSport do have on the front and back foot. Now, Highlands looking ahead on the counter. There's a man you want kick-starting your counter-attacks then. But now with time and space and the option out wide here. Oh, they've done well of Highlands. Oh, what a chance! Save of the highest quality from Williams. His positional play and shuffling across that goal line, crucial in keeping it at 0-0 nice and early.
Mukete Mokhaila, Mtobi Vala, Ronan Williams who we highlighted, who is going to be vital in this sort of situations. A shot on target already, had a goal written all over it. Mvala, who I mentioned, has got tendencies of making these late runs into the box.
Oh, what a start we've had. United with what, a few corners and getting things started where they got onto the front foot. The response from Highlands Park sees them create a lovely chance for the build-up was outstanding. Gabuza picking up the yellow card. You're all happening inside the opening 5 minutes. Well, we were hoping for a good start that could lead to goals and a bit of drama. Very promising indeed here at the Orlando Stadium inside the opening 5. Many will be expecting Highlands to utilize that counter-attack and their best moments starting with Bata on the far side, looking to capitalize with United having men committed forward for the corner. Mukhaila playing his part. We're also very adventurous getting men forward into that opposition box. Now how are they at building with United having men behind the ball? Munyai. Kalulias touches the bat at all. Mukhaila then to settle it as he looks for a bit of pace in trying to find his second career goal in the top flight of South African football. Just one in the PSL, yet to score in the cup.
There's a problem that SuperSport has already with Munyai on this right-hand side. But look at Mukete Mukhaila. Look at this pass. There's a definite pass there. Looks up. It's more of a pinpoint pass. Had a goal written all over it. But what a goalkeeping. Improvises one-on-one situation, beats Clayton Daniels and finds Vala. Mutovi denied by Ronan Williams. It's a good start for Highlands Park. Mukete again.
Well, his pace, a bit of a problem here for SuperSport United, but very much a bright spark for Highlands Park. Starting out wide on this right side. They'll be loving the fact that he's having a goal nice and early. We saw him skin Daniels earlier. Just added Budiba to the mix. Bata. Good movement on that far side as Highlands Park look for balance in attacking from the left and right.
Well, interesting because the approach, if you look at it on this side, if you have a Mbata who's operating on that left-hand side, he's going to be more inverted in terms of cutting in and makes it difficult for Nsapo.
George is joining us here with 7 minutes gone by. So many positives and promising moments already. The tempo alone is encouraging here between both these sides. After what looked a good opening couple of minutes for SuperSport United, it's a great response from Highlands Park. There may have been a fear that Highlands Park would go route one, look to pick it up on the second ball, but they've looked to play here and bringing a nice adventurous spirit to these early stages, winning the throw-in.
It's just stepped on his toes there. He should be okay. Mudiva playing left back in the absence of Bashera. Major adjustment for him, even though he started playing that role. But I guess he's gotten used to playing up front. You know, more of an attack-minded player, but he's been pinned back into the left-hand side where he has to defend.
Fine, Ray. Well, he's found the teammate on the far side. How's that? He's thrown, has found the teammate on the far side of the box. Talk about getting distance and giving Highlands another dimension in and around that final third and trying to cause problems for the United defense.
The last time I saw a shot like that here at Orlando Stadium was when the Blue Bulls came out to play here. Remember that? They came out to play here.
Well, for Highlands Park, it started here at the Orlando Stadium, this year's MTN8. The words from Owen DeGama leading up to that Pirates game was that, well, it's a chance for his side and his players to make a bit of history, make names and be heroes early on in the season. Yester was the man who was the hero on that particular day. He's on the bench here this evening. Gabuza has been the hero for SuperSport United, the former Paris player himself. A huge day for all involved here.
Well, the very same coach you're talking about is a former Orlando Pirates coach, but he was also a former Swallows player who played on this very ground, Orlando Stadium. ODG. I used to call him Rabadon.
Daniels, his experience coming in handy, then a little bit of a nudge on the back of his opponent. See, United win the throw and a bit of pressure on Williams then, who couldn't find a teammate in executing the ball upfield. Again, different ways of hurting the opponent here for Highlands Park. The throw-ins, the counter-attacks, the pace of Mikhail out wide, closing right from the front.
Very positive in approach. Highlands Park are pushing numbers. Munyai being pushed forward.
Then there's Telangomeni's distribution, which isn't bad. Now, Mata isolates the defender on the far side. Two inside the box. Makhaila drops outside of it for a change. Out on that far side. Had to weather the storm somewhat in the possession game. SuperSport United over the last 5 minutes. They've got themselves a set piece with Gabuza.
This is the type of foul which you commit knowing that defensively you're a bit thin at the back. So you commit this sort of foul because you know the threat that he's got, Gabuza. He will be joined in by Ruzike. So you commit such a foul.
Enjoying the times of his life is Matsatsantsa Gabuza since he's arrived at SuperSport United. His strengths have very much come to the fore. His ability in the air is, of course, a powerful runner. But his combination play with Kobla and understanding as well has been thoroughly impressive. The very best of Gabuza we've seen. Very reminiscent of his time alongside Timothy Rasmus.
Well, I think his best football for me was when he was coached by Coach Eric Tinkler, who brought the best out of him. And when he got to SuperSport, I've had a chat with a couple of people that says that they were encouraging him to keep it simple, just try and stay in the box, play to your strength. You're good aerially, just stay in the box, will get the ball through to you and show us how deadly you can be. And he has been. 3 goals that you just mentioned.
And a couple of assists as well.
Yeah.
Responsible for 5 for a United side that's hit the ground running and finding the back of the net this season. Mule, here's the header and the chance on the far post. Starts with the quality in the ball whipped in from Mule. And that near post flick on causes all sorts of problems, and all it needs is a toe poke from that point on.
And it got to, of course, Clayton Daniels came off his shin. They are familiar with his particular field. They played a couple of times against Orlando Pirates. We're not going to mention the scores, but it's a familiar territory. You've mentioned Highlands Park. They themselves are familiar with this. Yeah, that's the reason they've qualified for the final.
Mokoena looking for Rusike. He is an intelligent footballer with lovely vision and beautiful passing ability, the youngster Mokoena. When you've got the movement of men like Krobla, Kabuza, Rusike, you'll always be encouraged to look up and try and find the runner, which was the case that time around.
There's a player down. The senior Ramoraga. This is the build-up where you have a Bradley Krobla. That's Mokoena. Going for a
good defending.
Yeah, it is good defending. Didn't touch the ball, but maybe stretched or overstretched something.
Well, he'll have fond memories of his time here at the Orlando Stadium from earlier this season. Ramoraga, the man from Botswana, got the assist in the game against the Orlando Pirates for the years ago.
Well, the same Yoste you're talking about on that side where he scored. He had scored previously when he was still playing for Golden Arrows. He scored a set piece. And interesting that he scored again against Orlando Pirates on that same side. That's where Rodin Williams is operating.
Enjoyed watching Kabuza. Well as Rusike exchanging words just a few moments ago. Here is Kabuza with the movement of the ball. A couple already inside that box looking to connect with a teammate on the near post. But the team spirit seems to be in the right areas and just the way they're communicating with one another.
Communication in this sort of situations is going to be important. The organization as well. Trying to apply offside trap, it almost backfired for Highlands Park.
Well, he is quick, is Mokaila. Again, the pace will look to test Daniels, who experienced a bit of discomfort then, but all's well that ends well for the central defender. All on his own, Mokaila covers distance quickly.
You know, he reminds me of David Khadebe.
Yeah, same running style as well, isn't it?
Running style, you know, similar errors that they make as well. Not the best first touches, but they can be deadly. Now he's operating as a centre forward. You have a Shadow Lille dropping a little bit as well. There's the man of the moment, Shadow Lille.
Very much is out in Highlands Park.
Deadly.
All right, Ray is one of two single defenders that have gone for fresh new looks for the final. Daniels on one side, Ray on the other, where they clearly spent some time out at the Barbers yesterday. I'm sure they look right for the moments where they lift the cups, if it is to be so.
Well, the unfinished look is also a look as well. I'm talking about Tobin Bar. His hair, of course, didn't see the comb. I don't think he owns one. And these days, you can go to the salon and just cut your hair. Just leave it long, just in the middle.
Daniels.
Well, it's all about the occasion. You have players taken to John Basson, and he talks about when the players knew that the game was on TV. They all visited the hair salon.
Solid challenge out on that far side as Highlands Park again look for the transition. It's Samu. Won it back. Pace on that far side, and it's Bata's turn to have a goal. Paulin isn't bad at all. Needed the touch on the near post. So it's the pace of Mokaila on this near side causing problems for Madiba. That of Bata will look to do likewise up on that far side against the club.
And what that means is that every time they go down the line, they're expecting to find Shadow Lille and those late runs from Utovimbala.
Great touch. Nicely done with his back to goal then. Kabuza mentioned earlier how his strengths have come to the fore. That's certainly one of them.
It's going to be an interesting battle against him, Simang. Trying to match him for the aerial presence.
Problem. How they'd love for him to have an injury-free campaign. Started well. There was the point where he and Braki looked as though they were forming quite a partnership. It's moved on now with he and Gabuza enjoying some good times together. Here is Kroblekin. Great footballer he is. He also has the eye for the pass.
But he's playing slightly deeper. There's Mukhai.
Well, he's the Speedy Gonzalez of this near side, who's Mikhaila.
Yeah.
Skinning them.
There's
almost
also,
at will.
There's also wear and tear as he's making those runs because he got clipped on the ankles, the Achilles tendon. Watch this. He's the Speedy Gonzalez, as you say.
Once he gets going,
he's still going.
It's hard to stop.
And what it took is Dean Fairman. But he got fouled anyhow, and I think that's why the referee is trying to start it all over again, because he got fouled, but he soldiered on. And the last foul came from Dean Fairman.
Well, this is a venue where there have been some rather quick wing players over the years. Joseph Ngake, Joseph Holela. And there is a rather quick Mikhaila here for this MTN8 final at the Orlando Stadium. His speed has been the difference here inside the opening 20, minus the goals.
He seems to be played to his strength. Get the ball, use your speed, take players on.
Old school winger, yeah?
Old school winger. When you get to the byline, just bring in the cross. You've done your work. Try and complicate things.
Mbata. Nothing wrong with a challenge from Grandgegana then. Now, Krabla will look to use his strength against Munyai. Ngule to Mugwena. It's been the preferred trio in midfield for SuperSport United. Mugwena, Mbule and Dean Furman in the success they've had this season. Mbule, of course, has seen his best start to an ABSA Premiership campaign. He'll look to continue in this fashion. Very influential alongside Mugwena, who has scored in this MTN8. They love the fact that they got to this final having beaten their rivalries in Mamelodi Sundowns. Here's Mbule, lovely touches. Confident on the ball. Mugwena.
This is the moment where those who enjoy this sort of skills, they enjoy this sort of football. It can be deadly. It's very exciting, but positive as well, because he can unlock any defender with that skill. Mbule. Of course, he's playing alongside Mugwe in a good pass off the ball. He does the simple things so well.
Exciting youngsters in that SuperSport United midfield, of course, solidified by the experience of the South African international, Dean Furman. Mugwe already an international himself. Mbule is headed in that direction as we have a look at the total passes early on.
Is it blue? Is it navy blue?
Well, he didn't have to worry about an outfit for today.
No, well, the more I look at it, it started as blue, but it became navy blue.
Great. Every outfield player for Highlands Park in the opposition half of the field. Munyai hit the ground running in winning starting bursts. He's turned out to be quite a acquisition for Highlands Park that made a good few, and there was no doubt he was quality out of Black Leopards in helping them qualify for the ABSA Premiership, amongst their best players as captain of the side. Kabuza, nice touch. Done well, Kabuza, in forcing the throw-in on this near side. Great start to the game for Kabuza.
He's got a problem though. He is well polished. Well polished, because hasn't got the luxury of just playing, but he's got Msimango who's on his back.
The young man from Brakpan, Msimango, 22 years of age, behind the pole into the near post. Finds Robler not having enough meat on the connection.
You see those people who are Brakpan, and they say you talk about Brakpan, they'll be saying Sisu Rakoka. Tako Brakpan. Brakpan. Yeah.
It's like those that say Witbank and others say Vetbank.
Vetbank.
Yeah.
You go Witbank.
I say Witbank.
I just say Brakpan. They have slowly found a combination. Remember, they used to have a Bevan Frenchman who is no longer a regular. Ryan Ray has become an asset in that position. But his experience is still valuable to Highlands Park.
Tell you what, Frenchman's experience, years of experience that started out at Swallows years ago, and Kaiser Chiefs and such, was useful out at SuperSport United as well for a good number of years. Munyai now, with numbers getting in that box. Mbata was hoping for a better ball, dealt with by Daniels.
Here's something interesting. Mudiva hasn't made a run over the opponent's half and got really cross, because he's been pinned back into that left back position. He's got to deal with Mukhaila.
Keep in mind, just the one goal scored by Highlands Park so far in this tournament. Clean sheets all the way around. They haven't conceded. They had the 2-0 scorelines against the ever-impressive Polokwane City over the 2 legs of the semi-final. They have also been the Huru side for Polokwane City, with the league game between the two most recent. Now, they've only scored inside the last 15 minutes of matches with that goal they've scored here at the Orlando Stadium, and as far as the MTN8s.
Here's an interesting battle. Bata against Nsafo. Unpredictable Bata, because you don't know whether when he's in possession he's going to cut inside, which makes life difficult for Nsafo.
Krabla. We'll see your strength. Looking to turn and maybe surprise Telangobeni on that near post, and the strength of SuperSport United, that attacking intent. Whilst Highlands Park have struggled from a goal-scoring point of view, SuperSport United has had no such problems, Brian Martin. They've scored on 6 occasions in the few games of this MTN8, 6 already.
Well, I guess it's all about their style. They play very much an open style in terms of approach. You look at the game against Mamelodi Sundowns, they always play an open game. Whereas it's very difficult for Highlands Park, because the approach is always different. It's not easy to predict the type of football they will play. They play direct against the Polokwane City first and second leg. They ended up winning on penalties. And they're playing a different type of football this evening.
Boy in the box. Found the teammate, and something special in the overhead from the man that's had a most special start to the season. Can't get over it though and keep it on target. What an attempt. The acrobatic stuff here from Shalulile.
What a cross that came from Munyai, setting up Shalulile. Pinpoint onto the far post. Acrobatic, just couldn't get it on target. The last time I saw such a goal in Caesar's kick, one Jomo Sono scored at Super Stadium back then. But I also remember, I'm not too sure if you remember, he was a former Bidvest player. In fact, he is. A gentleman called Frank McGrealish.
He hit the sweet spot, Chalulile.
Yes, he did.
Quality in the ball in from the Teko Modise lookalike out wide on this right side.
A Teko Modise lookalike.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like he
I want
looks
to
like,
see that shot.
I believe he looks a bit like Teko.
You mean Masangu?
No, Munyai.
Munyai.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get a shot
That's
of Munyai and Teko. Except Munyai's got an afro. Teko has got a short hair.
Now. Good challenge. Here's another piece of quality that will come into the game in midfield from Mogoena. For all of these pluses on the ball, wouldn't win the ball back, will work hard in midfield in applying pressure. He's not one of those that just relies on what he brings you with the ball at his feet. He also does give you a fair bit defensively. His strength from Gabuza. Support from Furman. Mudiba.
Yeah, there's going to be a
good
shout.
movement.
Justin.
But I believe Ramuraka is the man that's going to be making way here for USD. Meanwhile, SuperSport United will hope Bule doesn't need to be substituted.
Yeah, just poking his ear, his eye, in fact. One of those battles, but he should be all right in Bule.
What I love about his game in how it's developed is as the years have gone along, he's grown physically and he does have a presence. He's hard to get off the ball. He's strong with the ball at his feet.
Well, they're very good at doing that. SuperSport Asto Pokekane. He came out to SuperSport, he was pretty thin. When he tells you the story of the weightlifting that he had to do, and he just looked at the weights and said, am I supposed to lift this? But you look at where Sompokekana is now, very solid player. And the same applies to Bule, matured physically. That only adds to the confidence. You're very confident when you're physically strong.
The last time these two on the field together, Ramuraka created a goal for Wade Uster here at the Orlando Stadium. Now it's Uster that will replace Ramuraka, who picks up the injury after a good strong piece of defensive play against Rusige.
Yeah, it's not nice to. I know how you look forward to playing in the final. You have a start and then suddenly get an injury as early as the 15th minute of the game.
Also believe with the moments leading up to kickoff, it would have been very special for the players to be involved in all of that and for them to be coming out with the dignitaries and the performances that were on, something different altogether. For those of you that may just be joining us with half an hour having gone by, for the players even, it would have been memorable in a build-up to a final they'll talk about surely for years to come. Even the experienced guys like Lithuanian on that bench will be saying, look, today was a bit different.
Yeah, those experiences are important, and that Telangoveni, Nela Litsoloniana would have been through that those sort of situations, and they would have guided the players. And it is sad for Ramuraka to have come off.
Bata's touch. Lucky Boy Mogoena. From copies originally is Lucky Boy Mogoena. Sits just in front of that back four. Very nice with the ball at his feet. So the two Mogoenas will be going at each other. Lucky Boy looking to battle against Devo Mogoena. There's Mbule with that strength on the ball. Never mind the skill factor, he can protect it well.
It's not easy to dispossess because you don't even know which direction he's taking. So skillful, but very balanced as well. And as you say, it's not easy to dispossess.
He's not small by any means. And well, the ball in is such a problem. He needed to be wise. Not only was he wise about his movement, he was confident with the ball at his feet. Nice touch in playing himself out of trouble. Needed a better ball upfield, however.
Well, confident, and any other player would have panicked and made a clearance, but he controlled it and moved around. Is this the look-alike of Teko Modise? Look at that control. He knows he's up against a very strong, deadly player in Bradley Grobler, but he continues.
Calm.
Very calm.
Calming effect.
That's good leadership, that's confidence. He's won the captain's armband, of course, for the Dodadova Black Leopards.
So much experience and know-how from a cup-winning point of view out at SuperSport United. So many players that have been around the block, and then some. Mentioned Williams for one. Has had about 3-4 cup titles under his belt locally. Budiba already with an MTN8 and Nedbank under his belt as well. Just mentioning a couple. Whilst Terangobeni on one side, he's got something a bit special that others don't have. The
Champions
League with Mamelodi Sundowns, the Nedbank Cup with Free State Stars, PSL as well with Sundowns.
You treasure those moments.
Killer.
Aha.
There's a goal scorer of note at his very best.
I think his best goal for me was the one that took him to the FIFA Awards.
Kata Kompela.
Yeah, the killer himself.
Well, his former teammate also sitting alongside the field here with a different view, alongside the Pumlani Msibi, I should say, Teko Modise. Those men that would have enjoyed moments such as this and set them alight at their very best. Not forgetting Siyangosi as well.
Well, those two players know what it means to wear the blue jersey.
Yeah.
Taylor and Teko Modise.
And Sundowns.
Yeah.
Big game players. Locally and in the international setup as well.
Yeah, they're one for big occasions.
Yeah, big game players.
They're one for big occasions. We're not surprised that they've graced us with their presence on this big occasion. Dominance, lots of action in that midfield, battles.
Interesting that Highlands Park are edging out United with their time in the attacking third.
Well, it's because of the using their fullbacks to attack Munyai. They have Mbata as well. Mahaila.
Nice from SuperSport United. Mukwena involved every step of the way until that very last ball, which he'll be disappointed with himself about, but everything else about that bit of build-up was so impressive. So much quality in this youngster.
Well, for the first time, you now have a Sapo who had the better of Mbata because of he won possession, but he continued combining with Mukwena. But it's the end product that didn't look good in the end, between that combination between Mukwena and Sapo.
Also scored on the international stage for South Africa, Mukwena. His career is moving in all the right direction, and the first positive with him is always his body language. Even when he gets it wrong, he looks positive.
Well, you've got to be a player with a big engine and a very strong mindset. And I think that will not go well for you, and you've got to be able to repackage yourself and move on.
A couple of Highlands Park players on the ground here. I guess any game against SuperSport United, you will expect to take a few hits out there with guys like Daniels and Furman on the field.
Wow.
Ule also can get physical. We spoke about his physical presence.
Well, it also gives an opportunity to the technical team, particularly Highlands, Paco and Dagama, and Freeze, to have a chat to Munyai, share some instructions, get them to realign one of a few things.
Budiba on a yellow, Mbule on a yellow, Kabuza on a yellow.
Hey, man.
Been physical from United this game.
Put them under pressure, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And we say under pressure because there is a man who is in charge, the commander-in-chief for this game.
Judge Dredd. Victor Gomes?
Yeah. He's busy.
He should be commissioner of police one day.
He's busy. I agree with you. I think he's the only referee who's got that, what do you call that spray?
Locally.
Yeah, locally. He's the only one with that.
The Colleen of South African football?
Yeah, he's invested himself. I mean, I've looked at, he showed me his bag. And the amount of investment in terms of the earpiece, it's his, and he buys things, you know, just, he goes around with the tools of the trade.
I like the authority in his body language. You know he's the boss.
Well, you know he's the boss the minute he comes out and does the inspection. And when you see him, you know he's in charge. And once he's wearing the regalia, he's...
his character in real life is very different from what we see on the field, though. He likes to joke around. He's got jokes for days.
The joker in the pack.
But on the field, he is all about business. On the plane, he'll make people laugh, even strangers. Victor Gomes shared a flight with him from an AFCON once coming back home, and we slept, some of us, and took some time to rest of the plane. Every time I woke up, he was cracking jokes with strangers, moving around the plane.
He's that type of guy.
Making conversations.
He's that type of guy. Chairman of SuperSport. I always call him Brakulu Sibi. What you call man, you know, that's how they give Brakulu Sibi. Good footballer in his days.
Of course, means we get to hang out with guys like Tulani Msibi, who teach us a little bit extra in the way of the beautifully South African game. Msibi are known as brains.
Yes.
I wouldn't have known that had it not been for Brapums. Now, a few of the United players will be feeling a bit of a response here physically from Highlands Park. Keep in mind, Highlands Park has got some players that won't be slouches themselves physically. Starts showing here from Makhaila, but they've got some big men out there themselves to Highlands Park.
Yeah, there's some players that need some attention. Talking about legends, of course, a legend was buried earlier today. Of course, played on this ground. A legend of note, played alongside Jomosono, Webster City, lately Chava, Malome Piri, Easter Khomani. Brasiti Hadebe, his soul rest in peace.
Yellow card here from Makhaila, from Matsatsantsa in the Limpopo province, I believe.
Yes.
Mentioned one career goal in top flight football for Makhaila. They only played 33 minutes ahead of this evening's clash in the MTN8 this year. So this is his first start. Boy, has he not had a good start to this game in the 40 minutes so far.
What I like about him this evening is how he calculates his moves, the decisions that he's taking. He knows when to improvise and when to deliver the cross.
Also, he hasn't just pinged the crosses in.
No.
He's looked to measure them.
I've been a critic of his game every time he's come on because I've seen those mistakes. But I think positive criticism. He's repackaged himself. He looks good this evening.
Scored the peanut that saw them get over Polokwane City. Makhaila, that would have done a whole lot for his confidence.
Well, the funny part, we're comparing him to David Hadebe. David Hadebe himself was a good penalty taker. There's so many chances, but when it comes to penalties, took the penalties so well. Just for the occasion, I've never seen Coach Kaitano Temple dressed up this formal. Like I said, I had never seen Mangoba Mniti, but it comes with levels and occasions, right? Never thought that I would see you wearing formal shoes.
It's been a while. Now, battles on in midfield. Munyai. Tanwa Munyai with his forward movement. The options towards his right, ups for the left. Bata beats the defender. The response, though, in keeping up with the winger was positive enough to put him off as he looked to ask questions of Williams.
Munyai, Shalulile. It is Munyai. I thought, well, it's a good decision to set up Mbata. A good recovery from Sapo. He's enjoying himself on this right-hand side, Munyai. I think the luxury of having to go in there, it's created by Mokhaila.
You spoke of skillful players in the past. We spoke of big game players. Jabupule, Matlangu.
Yes.
As he is currently known, he's full of jokes. I saw him a little bit earlier. He's regular self.
I spent time with him. I spent so much time with him. I think we were in Polokwane. Had like 5 hours together. The stories that we bring out, stories of football, if you find him telling stories with Fabian McCarthy.
A first half that one could argue should have provided us a goal had it not been for the heroics of Ronald Williams inside the opening 10 minutes. Best save of the game, best moment of the game on the front foot, with Mvada denied his second goal of the season, having scored in the AFSA Premiership. The man from Tennyson looking to profit off of the work of Mokhaila on this near side, skinning Daniels at the time.
Are we in agreement that we haven't seen a shot on target from SuperSport? You remember one?
Let's put it this way, Telangobeni hasn't had a stellar moment as yet.
Yeah. But we've seen one moment, of course, from Ronald Williams.
Could be tested again, but it will be with the outswinger. Lucas is looking for men in red on the near post. That boy McGuinn has had a well-travelled career up to this point. Blitz Aces, Chipper, Karagua United. Amongst the clubs he's played for, FC Cape Town, Real Kings as well.
The long-range passing that he's got, he's so accurate a lot of time. And you can only do that when you read the game so well. And he reads the game well and delivery.
Slept on, in my opinion. I really think he can play.
Well, he's wearing the captain's armband.
From copies originally.
You don't wear the captain's armband if you can play.
You don't wear the number 10 in the time playing central defense at times.
Yeah.
If you can't play. So you imagine the competition for that number 10 jersey. There's a deep-lying midfielder that wears it comfortably. He's that nice on the ball. 2 minutes added on to the end of this first half. If you are just joining us, Justa came in off the bench, and the only sub of the game, a forced one with Ramaraga having to make way. We spoke about big game players a little bit earlier, skillful players that will live for moments like this. Tebogo Moloi, two legends in the traditional black and white, if you will.
Yeah. His father played on this ground. Chipa Moloi. He played on this ground, Tebzangwana.
Also a story is Debo of his times in South America that he shared with me, and he had fun out in South America, blew them away with his skill. Now looking to blow away. Highlands Park or SuperSport United with lovely win play, and Grobler having yet another Grobler moment here and giving them the lead just before half-time.
One moment of brilliance where we were talking about the strength of SuperSport having to attack on that right-hand side. And if you're not organized, you're gonna get punished. And this is how it happens. Guess who gets there? It is that young man. It is Mukwena who gets there. Delivers a delightful ball for that man, Bradley Grobler. Doesn't disappoint. Ball watching. He towers over Munyai. And it's the goal that was needed from a deadly striker for that matter. He has been begging them. He continues to do that here at Orlando Stadium.
What a season he's having. 2 in the MTN8, but that move starts with a pass towards Mugwena. It's ahead of him. He hits it at pace, 3/4 plus pace. Skills the defender, blows them away out to that far side. Then there's the ball in. How beautifully it's met in the air by Grobler. Well placed header. And United with a beautiful team goal. Beauty in creation and execution.
They were responding to us to say we reserve the best for last. Yes, they created a chance earlier on Highlands Park. Wait until you see ours. Wait until you see the cross that will come from the right-hand side where Mukwena delivered a delightful ball for the deadly striker in Bradley Grobler. As you said, it is beauty. It is Philosopher new.
They saved the best moment of the first half for last to SuperSport United. Whilst the first say on the front foot went the way of Highlands Park, the very last and most telling goes the way of SuperSport United. It's what you want in a team goal, in a big game, in a final. It's had, well, everything but the goals until that moment. Williams plays his part in the save early on, but Grobler continues to play his part in scoring goals. Mugwena scores in the semi-final, creates one in the final. United take the lead into the half-time break. Highlands Park with it all to do in the second half.
You're watching the MTN8 final on your World of Champions, listening to the super voices of Super Disc. It's half-time. We have a goal. The away team, SuperSport United, lead by a goal to nil, but they could have easily fallen behind had Mvala taken that great opportunity, denied by Ronin Williams. Well, I'm joined now by Mapula Budibe from MTN, Chief Consumer Service, of course. Let's talk about the tournament and the journey that you have walked leading up to the Orlando Stadium. Mapula, good evening.
Good evening. What an exciting couple of weeks it's been. We are so happy to see the culmination of the MTN8. You know, there's nothing that beats a start like this to the season. We are happy to see people of Orlando coming out to support their club. And I think it's been a great showing in the first half of the match. Of course, from our side, we wanted to make sure that we bring the fans to participate. The whole tournament is really about the fans. There would be no MTN8 without the fans. So we are saying wafa wafa, thanks for supporting, and yeah, we look forward to the second half of the match.
Thank you so much, Mapula.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, we are looking forward to the second half of this wafa wafa. Stay with your World of Champions.
Grobler with the most telling moment of this final in one of the very last plays of that first half. But Highlands Park with a good start, and so far a good contest between these two sides in the MTN8 final. Ben Martin sitting alongside me. It's been a lovely build-up, a lovely first half, a great contest, and we look forward to more in separating Highlands Park and SuperSport United.
It was a good start for Highlands Park in that first half because they were the first to hit the target. And we've mentioned that sometimes we reserve the best for last, and SuperSport showed their class, delivered a cross and converted, courtesy of that man, Bradley Grobler. It's about how you manage your lead. It's about how you bounce back. That's what this second half is all about.
Well, it's Highlands Park looking to bounce back. It's them that will get the second half started attacking. The left of your picture, United will attack the right, and they'll hope to, well, for one thing, get it right on the front foot, Highlands Park, in trying to be the first to find the back of the net in the second half.
Tiko Modise said, and I quote, there won't be any extra time. That was his prediction. We will see. SuperSport are leading 1-0. Courtesy of Bradley Grobler. He predicted that SuperSport will win this one. Mark Williams would have said, if you get into that kitchen like Bradley Grobler did, you get to be part of the meal.
Highlands Park come into this game with joy, most recently over Polokwane City, over Baroka, including Polokwane City once again in the semi-finals. Again, it's already had yellow cards here. We'll see a yellow card shown early here in the second half. It's Lucky Boy Mokoena. It's fallen victim to Tabu Mokoena. We spoke on the battle between the two in the first half. They pick up from where they left off, and it's still very physical.
He hustles. Not only can he provide the crosses, but he really grasps in that midfield. He's matured in his game. Can get a bit physical when you want to battle with him. Mokoena.
4 United players now on a yellow. But standing over this, we'll look for the likes of Ryan Ray towards that far side. In fact, in the end, it's gone to a more central area inside that box. Now, decision here will go in favor of SuperSport United with the body language for one of Mvala suggesting he may have taken a whack, or rather I should say the body language of Msimango.
Well, in fact, it was Nsapu that kicked Msimango under at soccer boot, but referee saw nothing wrong there, nothing malicious intended from both players.
Said one appearance in the PSL, Msimango. His first in the MTN8 this season. And he's better from Bata. Idea was right in with the off-the-ball movement provided by US, who didn't start this game, but in trying to play it into his part at pace, he's put a little bit too much onto it, Bata.
There was an off-the-ball incident which wasn't spotted by the referee, Mr. Gomes. It was Bradley Grobler who clipped the ankles of Shannon.
That's good movement off the ball. Then after that flick on, and in the end, positionally, Telangobeni got it all the way right. But a bright moment for SuperSport United. Rusike asking questions of that defense.
That shows confidence. They are leading. They need to get an insurance goal number 2.
Ryan Ray does well against the movement of Kabuza, who looked to have had the edge in the early stages of this battle.
Was he aware? I don't think he was aware that Ryan Ray was training him. Was ready to pull the trigger. In fact, kicks Ryan Ray. But timely challenge from Ryan Ray under pressure.
Psych. Byline here. No worries for Telangobeni. But there's those moments we spoke about in the first half from a Victor Gomes point of view, where he will be the joker in the room at times.
You mean Kabuza? Always. And the same applies to the referee Gomes. Those who know Tamsanga Kabuza, if you hang around him, he's a joker in the pack. In that dressing room at SuperSport and Orlando Pirates, some of the posts that he does on Instagram, hilarious stuff. Biesta, ball in the box in towards the near post.
No chances being taken then. Good defending from Grant Gegana. Over the years, he and Daniels have gone on to form a great pair in the heart of that defense.
The realignment of the SuperSport defense with Grant Gegana, who played right back for most of the time, and Sapo now plays that position. Now he's a partner to Clayton Daniels, Grant Gegana.
Should be kept alive in the far post. 5 still in the box here. Put the ball into the near post. Oh, it should be converted on the floor. Off of the frame of the goal then, with the United defense in 6s and 7s. Msimango with the opportunity.
It does want to listen. I mean, look at this cross. Delightful ball played in there. Not convincingly cleared. You would have bet your last penny that that was an easy header into the net. How he misses that one, I don't know. He can tell us better how he missed that one.
Williams relieves the pressure. Ray had attacked it well, but he lost out to what was a good contest between he and Williams. But
Msimango. Like I said, he will tell us better what happened there.
The attempt on the near post draws all of the attention. Then once there isn't a connection there, it's Msimango's all the way. Nice turn here. Ball well protected, and United looking for the 2-goal cushion. The 2 men up front combining well once again. Krobler hoping for a corner, will see Highlands settle for a goal kick.
There's going to be a problem for Highlands Park. Listen, they've got to take a gamble, attack more, but they'll create openings for Tamsan Ngakabuza. And you have Bradley Krobler. There is also Ruzike on the far side. So there is going to be a problem for them, Highlands Park. They've got to take a gamble. They've got to attack. They are trailing 1-0.
There is also that side to the Kabuza game, isn't it? Where he's running with the ball at his feet. Sees him being a powerful runner. Once he gets going, he's difficult to deal with. Quite pacey for a big man.
Yeah, he's a rare breed. Physically strong. Fast as well. And the ability to turn defenders. If you look at how he turned Ryan Ray.
Well, they'll be feeling it physically. Both sets of players here. On either side, they've taken wax, and it's been quite a contest if you are just joining us in that regard alone. Whilst the contest has expanded to more than just the physicality, it's a good game of football. A great contest if you are just joining us. It's living up to expectation. What I'd love to see out at Highlands Park is Makaila having 1 or 2 of the runs in a similar fashion to what we saw in the first half, where he caused problems for SuperSport United. He's had a quiet start to the second half, Makaila.
I think they're causing problems for him and Munyai, because you now have Mudiwa, who's making the runs forward.
That's a good touch. Flag had gone up, though.
Was it offside? We've dealt with this sort of offside situations.
Thought Kabuza came from an offside position.
I'd like to see it. But was Krobler? Let's have a look at this. So far, no one is offside. Kabuza is not offside.
Didn't he come from an offside position?
No.
Byline here as the ball is played across and dealt with defensively. When I had that great first half, of course, the telling moment for him, maybe as a bit of a minus, is how he was beaten by Krobler, whose intelligence came through in the only goal scored of this match. Both of them running into the box. Kobler then slows down a bit to gain in speed and gain in momentum, which is how he wins the battle over Munyai. Other than that, Munyai had a stunning first half, did so much right.
Well, I guess he had it easy in the first half because you had Mohaila, who was keeping Mudiwapi very busy, so it created the luxury for him to make inroads. And now he's going to do the defending.
Daniels. Ray. Doubles experience over the years will stand him in good stead in big game moments. And it's a good ball! Oh, it's a lovely chance. Well met by Mbala with one of those trademark runs from the edge of the box. Clever header in the end. Unlucky not to find the back of the net.
The trademark runs. And that's exactly what he does. Times that run so well. Deflection. Little flick. Just misses the target. But just sneaks in front of Clayton Daniels. He's got to do more of that.
Stunning header from the man from Tennessee. Joined Highlands Park back in 2012. Played every minute of the MTN8.
Tackles Munyai, and he couldn't find his way out. Bule and fouls Munyai.
It's on a yellow, Bule. Needs to check carefully. Bukwena, another on a yellow. Kabuza also joins in the long list now of players in the yellow, both ways.
And Tamsanga. Kabuza is down.
Wapili should have had an assist early in the second half, and that chance created for Grobler. Tamsanga Kabuza. Wow.
When last did you see or hear about a certain Mnyamani who was part of?
Could be the cause of the problem then.
Yeah.
Where Ryan Ray beats him to the punch here and having a full swing. Kabuza unaware of cause of Ray's presence. May have injured himself.
Yeah, like I said earlier, that I don't think he was aware that Ryan Ray was approaching. Has to soldier on, makes a huge difference somehow. And I've always said, should you take off that boot, I'm telling you, the swelling will happen so quick. So he's got to try and soldier on.
Hey, what his performances since the start of the season will have him knocking on that national team door once again. Tamsanga Kabuza mentioned his time alongside Erasmus at Pirates and how fruitful that was for club and country.
Yeah, don't mention Erasmus here at Orlando. Pirates played Cape Town City last week. And he scored.
Mudiba. Nice turn. Super turn. Does it once again. He's strong, he's skillful, he's agile, lovely balance. Muller really does add a little bit extra to that United midfield. Here's Bata. His experience, of course, telling out to the Highlands Park. Lucky boy Mokwena.
He does the simple thing so well, Mokwena. Like the variation of his passes, short passes, long-range passes.
Thurman wins it back in the good area here to kickstart the counter. Krabla. Not on the same page for once, he and Kabuza. Lucky boy McGuinn. Space to turn, the movement of the ball looks good. And troublesome for Daniels here. Needed a bit of help from his goalkeeper, Ronan Williams, in reading that situation.
Well, he's got to be quick in terms of his decision making. Ronan Williams is that time where they're going to be put under pressure. And they'll try and play the balls behind their fullbacks, Mudiba and Sapo. No way. There's no way that was going to be a penalty. No foul there.
Sapo wanted to play them behind the defense. Ray read it early. Ngobeni. Now, Probla with a goal that's made the difference. We've had 1 hour of football in this MTN8 final. A good number of goal attempts, 12 in total, 4 on targets, 2 apiece in the way of shots on target. Both goalkeepers having made the same amount in the way of saves. Mata. Munyai. Little shuffled in, doesn't get the better of the defender. That's good defending initially from Madiba, but he's lost out in the end. 3 in that box. Still alive for Highlands. Offside.
I agree. Shalulile. He doesn't look sure, but I think it's a good call. Let's have a look at Shalulile here.
No, sir. Look at the far side.
No. No. Extra time is lit. Just like the second half is getting lit.
So many talking points in matches of the nature already this season. And this season just a few months old. Lucky moments for some, costly moments for others, depending on which side of the fence you stand when it comes to those offside calls that aren't quite on the money. Pressure moments for the officials in the A-grade games. None more precious than a final, of course.
There's just something about the body language of Thamsanqa Gabuza. You know, that confidence, he's relaxed, he's enjoying his football. And you just get that feeling that if he's not playing, it makes life difficult for Bradley Grobler because of the rapport they build. Now supported by Rusike on this right-hand side.
Mbule looking to take over here in the second half. Well, there was that game against Polokwane City a few weeks ago where Kaitano Temple rested a few players. From a United point of view, they ran into a stumbling block in what was a good response to the semi-final loss for Polokwane City, but not a great outing for SuperSport United altogether. They didn't look themselves, but the major hitters this season, such as Gabuza, went there. Rusike. Thurman again with an important interception in midfield. Probably with the movement, Telangobeni. Not amongst the tallest, stands at 177, but he's taking charge there aerially. Looks for the early release.
Well, he's very experienced. He reads the game quite well. He could see the danger on the far side with the Bradley Grobler who had sneaked in front of Munyai. They've kept him quiet. Shalulile, that was a handball. Up against Grant Kekana. He can also play midfield, defensive midfield.
One of 2 Namibians that have had a good start to the season. Hotto's one, Shalulile is the other. Mbule doing it with style here in the second half. Taking command, seeing more and more of the ball and looking to be more and more of an influence. Mudiba. His versatility, of course, useful to United. You mentioned his time in midfield. Of course, it comes with goals this time when he is starting out in midfield. You remember he was the top goal scorer a couple of seasons ago.
Well, when the goals had dried up for Jeremy Brockie, he came through for them. paying the goals, Mudiba.
Krobler on the move is Mudiba. Can also create a good few. Mikhaila's done a good job of keeping up with him here, aided by Lucky Boy Mokwena. They've outwitted him in the end.
Well, if it is a game plan, of course, to try and neutralize Mudiba when he makes the runs where you have Mikhaila, chasing him, but he gets to hit the brick wall when he gets to Munyai. So there is that awareness of the threat from SuperSport on the left-hand side by Highlands Park.
Yester losing out to Lusikin. Needed to make that recovery, but it may see him going into the referee's book here. He was in trouble, Yester. Lusikin had acres of space to run into, and he does possess pace.
But how is that not a booking?
I thought it would be a definite yellow.
I thought so
cynical,
too.
yeah.
That's taking one for the team, because if you look at Rusikin, he had acres of space in front of him. Tendaindo.
Now, let's talk Mikhaila. The great start to the game he's had inside the opening 20 or so, and how United adjusted to a point where they've kept him almost a ghost here in the second.
Well, he had 20 good minutes of the first half. He's struggling now because he's forced to go into a defensive mode with Muniba beginning to make inroads into their half. As a result, he cannot provide the attacking threat that they're supposed to have. They need to equalize. So Tendaindo Roshalulile. That's the ammunition that they have now, Highlands Park. A midfielder at some point, the Jomo Cosmos and Sapo.
He's played for 3 clubs with a presence in his career. Cosmos is one. Bidvest another. SuperSport United. Those are 3 solid clubs to have played for. Cosmos with a history. Bidvest as well, amongst the oldest in South African football.
And he's not far from collecting a gold medal. He's got to defend that lead.
Pull into that far post, and well, he wasn't marked, Daniels. Couldn't get over it, however. Comfortable the pickup for Tela Ngobeni. Top-notch distribution. Gets them going. Rain Ray.
There are players who, in my view, their strength is pretty simple-ish.
Oh, that's a good ball. Flex gone up here. Maybe another close one.
Was it? Or was it not? Never. He's making those runs now. He's forced to attack more.
Is that their best moments in front of goal?
Yes.
The chance in the first half, a couple here in the second. Top goal scorer last season.
Yes.
Is that Nlamo?
Yes. And Laguno, we call him Lambo corner. That's probably where your Jabu Masagu are. They're pretty well.
They have been thoroughly entertained in what has been a good game of football. Those that have turned out here to the Orlando Stadium. It all started an hour or so before with the build-up to this final. For those that were present, they'll be talking about it for some time. We'll be talking about it for some time. double. Masango does well to win it back, and Munyai providing width on the far side. Bata to Tendai Ndoro. If you have to swing this, he's just throwing the game here in the second half. This a place he used to call home.
This a place where he used to lead that front line. I think that's why he's much more deadly for me. He's not going to be that deadly when he plays that deep. He's not the type of player, not a good pass off the ball, but
good combination play on this near side, and in the end, that's good work defensively by Rusike twice now. He hasn't allowed Justin to get the better of him, where he stayed responsible on the back foot. Ule's had nice touches here in the second.
hey, I'm diving.
You will kill you with that first touch.
This Mbule is so skillful, good touches. I think what makes it easy for him is his awareness of the space where he is. That makes him even smarter and dangerous.
The way he started the season gives you a similar feeling as to when, well, me for one, when I first saw Tego play, you know, the first touch, how he commands midfield and so on. Will is turning into one of those type of midfielders where he can be very economical with the ball, but still use it wisely and do it in style.
Donna. First time I saw him play was against Kaizer Chiefs. A game that went on and on and on and on. It was a knockout game. He was playing for a best division team. Good touches.
Nice turn here, strong play. As the ball is played in for Grobler, just out of reach for him to try and extend the United lead, but he'll keep it alive. Muliba. Furman. Grobler. Furman. Had a good game, Furman.
He's always grafting in that midfield. But now he's got the luxury to go forward. Didn't do that in the first half. Team Fairman stabilized things. I think now there's gaps in that midfield, so he's got that luxury now to go forward more.
Time running out now for Owen Takama. Those the options he has in players that have covered distance here, but amongst the oldest out in that field, he's covered amongst the most ground. Well, he's covered the most at Highlands Park, as but
He's calm, he's still effective, but I think he's in pain, Tamsanya Kabuza. But he's got to soldier on. At this stage of the game, his experience is so vital. His link-up play, holding the ball, he's good at it.
Again, that's good goalkeeping from Telang Robeni. With him, moments of that nature stand out even more because of the lack of height, of average height, I do believe. Munyai. 3 in the box.
The wrong option for me. But I could part of him and try and understand, because the best option would have been to play it higher.
I was wondering why there were noise levels coming out the stands.
Yeah.
Former SuperSport United man, formerly with Jomo Cosmos and Kaizer Chiefs as well. Renee Tulinyan, he can shake things up.
Just needs to pass the ball. That's his trademark. Back full of tricks, but no time for that.
Nicely done by Ryan Ray. Lala's header. Defender plays, and then the back heel then from Masangu won't find the teammates. Great battling in the air. Pressure. Constant pressure here from Highlands. Anyway, we'll do it for Daniels. We've seen Musike dropping back to assist defensively on a few occasions. We've seen Grobler recently dropping back to assist defensively. Highlands applying the pressure. Oh, that's a good ball. Lovely touch from Doro.
See what I was talking about? Get the ball to him in an area where he's got two things to do. Bring the ball under control, pull the trigger. That's his strength. Don't get him involved in the midfield because he's not going to be effective. But that's a deft touch. Let down by the, the execution in terms of hitting the ball on target. But that's where he is deadly. Did it at the Mpumalanga Black Aces. Went to Orlando Pirates. Continued.
Rusika's header. With the strength.
Go on.
It's quality on the ball, man. Graceful.
He's causing problems for Mupé.
Confident.
You can imagine a conversation where there's again, it's just
Gabuza. Rusika!
That's what strikers do. The best ones for that matter. Quick thinking, tight angles, good pass, and guess who? The supplier is Tamsanga or Gabuza. That's what strikers do. Misses the target though.
Time seriously against Highlands Park. Noro done a stunning job in battling forward and keeping it rolling for the men in reds. Mbata eliminates one. Looks to add another to the mix. Magango slowed down unintentionally by Victor Gomes. Lucky boy Mokwena. Intelligent little piece of play then where they've looked to set it up on Doro. They're enjoying this style over the last 10 or so at Highlands Park. Watching attack after attack here, USJ involved. Vala. Doro! Oh, he hit that ball.
We were going to say Zaku Zirukufaya if he had scored because the invitation was there, set up by Vala. The invitation was there. Full laces but misses the target. They are bossing things in that midfield. SuperSport has got some defending to do.
Lucky boy Mokwena will make way. Rene Tulinyan will come on here and look to help influence further the going forward for the men in red. Had more than memorable moments out at SuperSport United, of course, in some legendary matches. You remember the 6-0 against Orlando Pirates and the performance he had on that particular day. They'll be hoping for something similar here in the time that remains at Highlands.
Someone is going to get booked. Sapo got booked in Sapo.
Daniels and Sapo, Ule, Mokwena and Gabuza at United.
In one of his interviews, when they were asking him, when are you planning to come back? He says, I want to join a team which has got ambitions. An ambitious team. That's Yeye Little again. Are they ambitious, Highlands Park? My answer is yes. They are through to the final of the MTN8. They are trailing 1-0. Can he be that man?
And also Owen de Gama saying the sort of things a player like Swingani would like to hear. I do believe you remember at the start of the season, I believe you were speaking to Pumlani Msibi, saying, look, he doesn't mind losing 4-3 as long as they play an attacking brand of football, which is what they're looking to achieve this season. Players like Yeye would love to hear that.
Well, it's got to change it a little bit, because I think this is very much positive in terms of how they're approaching their training. So they've got to be very economic and stingy with that ball. Find ways of breaking through the SuperSport defense is pretty much reinforced. They will be making a change themselves, SuperSport.
Brian May keeps his cool.
Jamie Webber. Pritesh to come through. Played against the Mamelodi Sundowns, came on as a sub and scored.
Nice touch from Rusike and getting away from Ray, then the ball over the top, finds the teammate. Oh, skillful in eliminating Ray once again. In the end, Mugwena just couldn't wait for it to come down long enough without the defender putting him off. But how does he outwit Ray here? Beautifully.
Yes. And Ray thought he was going to be spectacular in carrying that ball with his head. Watch him dive here. Watch. Puts his head, didn't think what's going to happen. Lastly,
Smoked him.
he saw it. Believe me, he saw that ball. And he kept on focused, going for that ball. But little did he realize that Mukwena has got something up his sleeve.
Ngwile will make way for one of those that has found the back of the net for United this season. Weber.
Like I said, he came on as a sub against Mamelodi Sundowns and scored.
Solid start to the game for Weber. Gabuza, head up. Movement in the central areas. Rusike. Loving the work he's put in off the ball, Rusike. Needed Spio Msimango to stay true to the defensive cause here.
Hey, Damapasi. Tamsanga Kapuza.
What a game he's had.
Simplifies things. In terms of this link-up play, how he holds it.
When he chooses to run with it, when he flicks it on.
The decision-making as well, the weight of that pass for his teammate.
Outswinger. Probla couldn't get it up from under his feet. German's done well. Now, Ngubeni's distribution has been good up to this point. They needed to stay on point for the remainder of this game. Desperately in need of that equalizing goal. Highlands Park. When they have scored, it was at this venue in the MTN8 late in the day.
And they won the game. They conceded late in the first half. And they are trailing.
In the Absa Premiership, 20% of their goals have come in the last 15. Grabner. Well, the bounce then won't get the better of Telan Ngobeni thanks to his getting his body behind the ball.
Ramaji twisted his ankle. against his former team, Polokwane City. That's the reason he's out.
Nicely held up on that far side for as long as he could, Kabuza. Furman, space to turn here and maybe have a crack. Looking for that top corner.
We did a game together. Was it not in Devon where he scored a cracker?
Yeah.
Was it against Amazu or was it against Arrows? One of the two.
One of the two.
It was Arrows because it was played at Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium. And he kept on saying, I do this at training.
Amongst a good number of players that have come through the system at SuperSport United.
There's a gentleman, his name, Kopo, produces this talent.
As we look at the frustrated batch of fans here, and those that support the team in red, let's talk about the United setup. Not much changing in personnel from last season outside of the Kabuza inclusion really at the start of this campaign, but so much that's different about SuperSport United from what we saw last season.
Well, I will quote from their captain, Clayton Daniel, who said they needed to do some soul searching and they needed to win that, to say, who are we, what are we all about, are we an ambitious lot? And they needed to make a change. They also said that they needed to freshen up the team and bring in a few youngsters.
From the senior.
Yeah.
Mother and father of the man that's had a stunning start to the United season. Sorry to have interrupted you, Brian. I just didn't want to miss that moment.
Yeah. And they needed to bring in some youngsters. Mukwena, Weber, Bule. A few changes, realignment. And then you have Grant Kekana playing alongside Clayton Daniels. And to have that man, because when you don't have a Jeremy Brockie, they needed to find someone to lead that front line. And they found him in Tamsanga Kabuza. It made a massive difference for Bradley Grobler.
Is Mbule like a new signing this season? Yes, he was there, but has he not added a whole lot extra this season to the way he started?
Well, I would want to put it this way. The youngsters they needed to bring through. Bule, Weber, Mukwena, who came in first. It made a huge difference because for a while they were lacking in terms of creativity in that midfield. And these are the youngsters who are bringing in that creativity. Play it simple, be offensive, link up with the likes of Tamsanga Kapuza. It's working. Bradley Grobler is enjoying his football. There is balance in the team.
Rosique has also found himself within this team following his move from Maritzburg United.
I think he's a bit frustrated. For me, he plays better when he's operating on the left-hand side. Yes, he's got to play on the right-hand side because Bradley is operating there. But when you look at when he was at his best, he operated on the left-hand side at Maritzburg.
Climbs up well, does Grobler. Always holds those runs to be able to get the momentum on the defender, as we saw in the goal scored. Now, Owen Degama. Munyai, a new inclusion, Telangobeni between the sticks brings experience and know-how. But how do you see this Highlands Park and the success in just getting to the final in the MTN8?
But on its own, it's a major achievement. You're talking about a team who had the objective to survive the league. The second season, they ended up 7th, and now they are in the final of the MTN8. It is a major achievement. There's lots of lessons to be learned.
Natulian, good vision. Yes, sir! The new men of the club combining then, not well enough, however, to provide the most telling moment of the match. More frustration for those in the stands.
Well, I guess the frustration is because that ball did not hit the target. But if it had gone in, it is quick thinking. He didn't have much time. He needed to improvise. Was it too happy that it didn't hit the target? Remember, he's contributed to the team in the top 8. He scored against the Orlando Pirates.
Coming off the bench on that day as well.
Yeah.
Rusige. Beautifully done by SuperSport United. Mokwena! Defense does enough. Just about enough. Beautifully done. They're just bringing it forward on this near side. Now, there's a beautifully bent run as Highlands look for an equalizer late in the day. Early play ball into no man's land with the run being made into the near post. Shalulile of all people, the man who's gotten so much right about this season.
Is he the best passer of the ball? Can he make the proper decision? What I would credit him for is the run that he made. That's a brilliant run that he made to get that ball. But he bent it nicely, beat the offside trap, got a good ball, got into a good area. It's the end product that matters most. The options that he had in the box which he did not utilize.
You know what's coming? As he made his way towards taking his throw in, he was getting the crowd pumped up, Brian Ray. Here comes a missile. Far post, finds the teammates. Maybe by surprise.
Yes. You look at how he's walking and he's blaming himself to say I could have done better there. But that's the throw-in. Flick. Did it come off a SuperSport player? I thought it came off a Nsapo. Let's go to soldier on. Simang.
Late in the day, yeah, there's those little moments where a different mindset, he expected that. Maybe he makes a better decision. As Shalulile looked up, maybe he makes a better decision with the pass. Late in the days, those little moments that make a huge difference.
With that little time, Bongani Khumalo might be introduced. And you'll know why they will introduce Bongani Khumalo now.
You're building that wall.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the outfit Jimmy was wearing in one of the functions that he went to. I remember that outfit.
This is a club that's growing. SuperSport United. League success, cup success. It's become something they've enjoyed on the regular now. The lifting of a trophy every few years or so.
I think this will probably be the 11th time they appear in a cup competition of the finals. They won 5 out of those. And probably making it 6 now. And what an achievement it will be for this man. Kaitano Tembo, player for SuperSport, coach. Lost against Benny McCarthy, about to win it.
Kabuza, formerly with Golden Arrows, who had and have and will forever have that MTN8 final memory, creating a new memory with SuperSport United. Kabuza. Good run this. Good save. No. Thought maybe there might be a follow-up shot, but Telang Obeni just about keeping Highlands in it. Time a factor though. With the clock winding down, they get themselves into all sorts of trouble initially and just can't deal with it following that.
Hey, you got caught there by the young man, Mokwena. He was passing that ball into the neck, but the positioning of Telang Obeni. Brakulu, I know. Just on the side, of course, is the man that used to be at SuperSport, Stuart Marcella.
SuperSport United joined the clubs with 3 MTN8 wins in their history. They do it this time under Kaitano Tembo after the failures of the recent past, having won it back in 2017. Krobler has done the business alongside Kabuza. Those two have really steered SuperSport United in the right direction in being crowned the MTN8 Champions.
The boss, Stan Matthews, hugging Caetano Tembo, mentored by a few coaches, given the reins to lead this team. He made some changes, he created some style, brought identity, got the players to do some soul searching. And finally it happens. He wins the MTN8 in Orlando, where the likes of Golden Arrows have won it. And he become part of that history, of course. He writes his own history of winning it for SuperSport as a coach.
Well, a proud, sorry Brian, but a proud moment for the Robles here. That's Robler, a legend in his own right, watching his son go and create a bit of history here for SuperSport United in what will be a really proud moment for the Robler family. Well, for Highlands Park, they themselves will find this a day to remember for all the right reasons, of course. Never mind the fact that they lost, but they battled on with a tournament that started here at the Orlando Stadium. It all ends here once again. But what a fight they put up here this evening.
Like I said, lots of lessons to be learned from this. They had a good start, played 20 minutes, faded out, lost concentration, poor marking there and there, and they got punished for it. But they traveled the journey. They had to learn. And these players, for me, looking at the time, they've achieved.
The champions in the MTN8 SuperSport United beating Highlands Park by a goal to nil.
A big thank you to the Super Voices of Super Disc on your World of Champions. It's SuperSport United, them who emerged victorious. Bradley Grobler with the all-important goal here on your World of Champions. MTN8 Wafa, man of the match. Uganda Ganda. Puti. Sekbongela. Well done.
Angazi ukuthi ngithini. Ngijabule kakhulu. Thanks for ucoach ukuthi anginike ithuba futhi again ukuthi ngizibonakalise ukuthi ngikwazi kangakanani ukudlala ibhola. And ngisize ngijabule kakhulu angazi ukuthi ngithini.
Ongakusho mhlambe ukuthi igoli elilodwa lishaye nguBradley Grobler kube umnyakazo omuhle kakhulu uTebogo ngaka right.
Iqale ejimini ukuthi kenake senza kanjani before sifike la egroundini ama movement esiwenza ejimini and bengazi ukuthi uDebza uzoza short ubreak uzo shaya 10 man run into esijwayele vele ukuyenza ejimini.
Ngokwakho njoba uthola nanti isheke lika 25,000 rand, man of the match MTN8 25,000 rand ithathe eyakho le mali futhi.
Thank you.
Asikhulume musukubaleka. Ake sichaze ukuthi for you as a player sengisho nje personally futhi ukuthi uzofika kuleli zinga uphethe indebe namhlanje best player tournament probably futhi last man standing ukushintshe kanjani lokho empilweni yakho?
Ngathini ukusebenza kanzima ukubelieve ukuthi keneke yonke into oyifisayo izophumelela ngaso sonke isikhathi. Thank for the coach again ukuthi keneke angiphi ithuba futhi lokuthi ngizibonakalise.
Kunjani eSuperSport United ngoba ekuqaleni mhlawumbe abantu bebethi hey uthi ugandaganda ukhetha ukuya kuSuperSport United ekhona amanye amaclub uhlale kanjani la?
Ngathi thanks ku-chairman we-Orlando Pirates Dr. Ivan Khoza uyena ongikhethelile ukuthi ngize la ngoba bekumaningi amathima angifunayo ku-PSL and nami bengazi I was frustrating because bengadlali and then wangikhethela le team le.
Uthe kimi Thami isizini mayiqala wangihlebela wathi ngikuSuperSport United ngifuna ukuwina ama-trophy nansi yokuqala.
Kushuthi imthandazo yami yafezeka.
Hambo yothokoza nabalandeli nabadlali bakho futhi.
Thank you.
There he is, Tamu Kabuza. It's good to see him smiling. I heard, in fact, in commentary, Sisu Mben and Brian talking about him knocking again on that door. Bafana. Caetano Tembo is right here, head coach of SuperSport United. Caetano, appreciate your time, sir. Your thoughts, please.
Well, we knew it was going to be a difficult game, but like I said before the game, if we can deal with the long throw and the set plays, there's nothing more. They could, really trouble us. I think Gabuza did a great job on Mbala, because we knew that was their go-to guy, especially on set plays, on the long throw-ins. And other than that, I think we dominated, the game. We deserved to win the final.
Not one of the easiest games to play, particularly Caetano in that first 45 minutes.
Yeah, they had one moment there. I think Ronwen kept us in the game as well. We went to sleep, and he made a good save there. Then after that, I think we kind of like came into the game. We're not really looking as sharp as we wanted to. We knew that they will man mark, but we didn't really have that element of surprise, especially in the first half. The only time when we did that, we scored when Tebza went through the gate, put in a cross, because we knew they follow runners, and Bradley was left unmarked. Good goal from Bradley.
I know you're going to run away from this one because you don't really like personal glory, but this is a great personal moment.
Yeah, I think my first trophy, but at the same time, I think I've got to give it to the guys. Since day one, I think we've been a family. They accepted me. We got into the final last season, but we kept working. We lost in the final last season. We kept working, and the players bought into my philosophy, and they're the ones who are running with it now. And I think it makes it easier for me. So that's why I really give it to them and my technical team as well. Andre Arense, Paul Matthews, Betha Maselesele, Brabi, Brajo, Mulepo, Pedro, Coltrane, and the guys at the office as well, the board, for giving me that opportunity. And the boss as well, Mr. Stan Matthew, the CEO. I know he's always giving me a hard time because he believes in me, and I really appreciate that. Even the chairman as well. The chairman believes in me, and it's not easy for them to just give an opportunity like that to someone like me, but I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Caetano Tembo, victorious here tonight. I'm going to bring in the head coach now of Highlands Park, Owen De Gama, shakes hands with Caetano Tembo as Caetano leaves us. Coach, appreciate your time. Owen, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, first and foremost, congratulations to SuperSport. They took their goal well in the critical moments of the game. But hell no, we had enough chances to wrap up this game. We created in the first 10 minutes 3-4 chances, but if you don't take your chances, this is what happened. Still think we're getting there, but I'm very proud of the boys, very, very proud of the boys. It was not our day, but we thank the Lord for getting us so far, and all the thanks goes to him.
Coach Owen, early on, how did that sub affect your game, Ramrak?
A first sub so early in the game, it's rather unfortunate, Sometimes players have got to be honest, If you're not ready, rather be honest and say I'm not ready. But at the end of the day, it's a learning curve for us as well. We didn't take our chances. We had the forced situation, critical phase of the game. We went to sleep. But all I'm saying, I'm proud of the boys. They've played in a final. And for me, that is important.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you very much. And congratulations to SuperSport once more.
Thank you, Coach Owen De Gama. Once again, congratulating SuperSport United. Well, SuperSport are victorious. I see a man coming closest to me. He's right here. Well, he's going to receive a check. Kulu Brains Sibiya is right here. 8 million rand to the victorious SuperSport United. There is that check then. Yet again, SuperSport United, they are the last team standing. Brakulu.
Yes, Baba.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much, MCB. Thank you.
Not an easy road to take to end up with this. I know you want to give credit to the players, but I'm just saying, let's look at the road traveled leading up to here.
Listen, I said them from day one. I said, if you guys go to the finals, the trophy's yours. On Thursday, I went to the training session, and I said to them, they were saying, how much? I said, it's not the money that is important, it's the trophy. Because once you win the trophy, it will always be there in your mind. So that was it. So they played for the trophy. The money is a bonus. They will get the bonus.
Thank you so much, Brains.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Kulu Sibiya, chairman of SuperSport United, walks away. Then you know the story. The money will be the bonus. They've won the trophy. Let's take you back then to our commentary team as we get ready then for the trophy celebration, the presentations of the medals as well.
Yes, while the bonus might be theirs, Msibi, also history is theirs to own as a generation of SuperSport United players, and that's what they've created here, Brian. As a former player yourself, even those from Highlands Park, it'll hurt this. Whilst it'll be joy for SuperSport United, but they've all made history. This a historical moment.
Well, let's talk about Owen Dagama, who says it's a major achievement for his players, who at some point was a question of surviving, but they made it to the final. That's the most important thing for SuperSport's a major achievement. They lost against the Cape Town City, but they managed to repackage themselves, realign a couple of things, and here they are. They are the champions in a ground that, Golden Arrows won the MTN8. They've also become part of their history.
Young players enjoying the times of their lives in moments they'll hope to repeat time and time again, the likes of Mnyamani and company. But for Ronwen Williams, he has yet another under his belt here, and SuperSport United continue to be a major hitter in South African football. They have done it in the league, they've done it in the cup, they continue to grow. They'll feel now the next step is possibly the continent.
Well, if you look at, if you've listened to Coach Gaetana Tembo, he says Ronwen Williams kept us in the game. They could have conceded early stages of the game that could have caused them problems. But once they did that, the team started regrouping. They started realizing how tough it's going to be. But they waited for the right moment because they knew that it was not going to be easy for them. But they managed to, bring in that cross. If you listen to Thamsanqa Kabuza, he says, we practice these runs. Once Bradley goes to the far post, I go to the near post. It's well rehearsed and well executed.
Also, when you look at the blue, top of your picture, the support base, it's growing from a United point of view, and when you consider this is an away game for them, but they will look to grow it. They've put in work out in the Mpumalanga province, having played games in seasons gone by in Nelspruit, in trying to grow it and have an academy that side. It's moments like this that see SuperSport United continue to be a force in South African football.
It's a drill that comes from the training session. Thamsanqa Kabuza going to the near post. Bradley Grobler goes to the far post. Mokoena looks up and he sees Bradley Grobler making that run, and he pinpoints that cross onto Bradley Grobler. He beats Ryan Ray, looks up, pinpoints the ball, has it diagonal. It's a clinical finish from Bradley Grobler. Just towers over Munyai.
A side that does the simple things well, SuperSport United. They sign players that do the simple things well. That's the strength of Kabuza. The simple things were big men done extremely well. Grobler as well.
Well, they look simple when executed at a game situation, but it's a drill that they worked hard at training. So for us, it's such an easy thing. But it's
easy on the eye as well, isn't it?
It's easy on the eye, but it's also pleasing when a drill at training session becomes real and in a game situation. And that's, for me, they'll continue to do that. If you look at the drill as well, when he scored against Mamelodi Sundowns, that header, it's again one of those drills that they work hard on, and it's the variety of their game, where it can be Kabuza, it can be Bradley Grobler, it now can be Ruzike as well.
Interesting story. The story that comes with Highlands Park. Professionally from Johannesburg, they existed from 1959 to 83 originally. And here they are now looking to, enforce their return to the top flight of South African football. They're moving in the right direction by making finals and such, but they'll, of course, be looking to grow from moments like this.
They're still work in progress for me, but I think the major achievements are things like being number 7, coming out number 7 in the log, and you look at them being part of the MTN8 final. It can only help in terms of the posture of the players believing and realizing that they're in the big league. Of course, for them to be part of the top 8, they've got to make sure that they stay in the PSL. So there's still lots of work to be done, but this, of course, a major achievement to have come as far as the finals of the MTN8. Lots of lessons to be learned in terms of concentration towards the last few minutes of the first half, where they lost possession and they got punished. And this is the nature of the final. Sometimes it takes one goal and it decides, and the others go to the bank quicker.
At the start of the day, we spoke of the officials and the need for they not to have grabbed the narrative by the end of the day. Here we are at the end, and, well, mission accomplished in not dominating the narrative. It's about the footballers and the football in the end.
Well, someone had to bring order. He flashed out a lot of yellow cards. That sent caution to the players to say, do the business. But he's a very vocal referee as well. He converses with the players during play to encourage them to say that's a good tackle, go on, and all of that, all those types of things, Victor Gomes. But he had to stabilize things. He had to, bring about order, but also encourage players to keep it flowing.
Lions of the North stepping forth here with a good mixture in the way of players that are still finding their way and right behind the ears in the ABSA Premiership, and those that have experience in helping them maintain the standard of those they're rubbing shoulders with.
I like the setup for the presentation. You were marveling at the opening ceremony. I'm looking at the setup and that walk, players walking on the yellow carpet, climbing onto the stage, getting those medals. I can tell you, it will stay in the minds of those players. For Highlands Park, they look at themselves and say, we've made strides. We belong to this PSL league. There's so many options. There's another competition coming up pretty much soon, and the posture will be right. But in order to do that, they've got to constantly stay in the league, and that will create more opportunities for them. For SuperSport, they're pretty used to this. 10 finals they've been to. Now they've won 5. This is the 6th one that they have won. And you can tell Ronan Williams leading his troops as we see the technical team of Highlands Park.
Now, is NFL winners, NFL Cup winners in 61, 65, 66, 67, 73, and 75. They were hoping to make a bit of history here under Owen Dagama and add the MTN8 to trophies they've won in the past, which include the NPSL. It won't be for them, but it will be a moment once again for the side from Pretoria at to build their home, and my how they've grown from the Pitso Mosimane days to the Kevin Hunt era, and moving forward beyond that with Stuart Baxter, now Kaitano Tembo. They continue to move in the right direction no matter who leads them, and now with the new generation.
I had a chat with Colt Twain. The only guy, or the only coach that didn't win a trophy for them was Kevin Johnson. But the coaches that you mentioned have actually won trophies for SuperSport. They've added value. They've got their name in most of the success that SuperSport have enjoyed. At some point, when Coach Pitso Mosimane were there, they were the masters in terms of winning this competition. In comes Kevin Hunt. Then they didn't win that many trophies, but they were consistent in terms of winning the league titles. So, and now Stuart Baxter comes in, they win trophies, the knockout trophies. And you have Kaitano Tembo, who was mentored by most of those coaches. He was part of the development. He understands the culture of this club. And what a proud moment for him as a player and as a coach. He's won a trophy.
Matsatsantsa Apitoli, league winners on 3 occasions. Nedbank Cup winners on 5 occasions. They've once won the Telkom knockout. It's a complete domestic haul on more than one occasion. Tata Kakabuza with some great memories and, well, a new home, a happy home out in Pretoria for him. And my, what joy it is to see him enjoying some of the best moments of his career. Kaitano Tembo, a former player at SuperSport United, he's gone through the system in going from player to leading the side. MTN8 winners in 2004, MTN8 winners in 2007. Finalists over the last few years. They are champions once again, awaiting their captain, Dean Furman, to first up meet up with the dignitaries, and as they celebrate, he will step forth to put fingerprints on the MTN8 trophy as United do it for a 3rd time, adding 2019 to the mix. Here are your champions, SuperSport United.
Estima Matsatsantsa.
through the trophy hall, Brian Martin. This is a club with a serious presence in South African football.
They have. You talk about the league titles that they have won. You talk about the trophies in terms of the knockouts that they have won. It's a success story. Theirs is a success story. And you look at some of the players that have come through from the youth ranks. You're talking about Yombule that has been part of this team. And you talk about Mukwena. You talk about Ngoma that have come up. It's a massive, massive, massive achievement for SuperSport.
The legendary Orlando Stadium does it again in hosting another MTN8 final. Memorable this from the way it started. And we take our hats off to the organizers of the MTN8 for a lovely spectacle. That's what it was, an experience, a spectacle here today.
Listen, this is, we can call it a theater of dreams. Not many players have played on this ground. Not many fans have graced the stadium. But to be part of this history, playing at Orlando Stadium where you win. We've spoken about the likes of, Gordon who has come here and won a trophy. We talk about Pangova, who has actually won a trophy as well. And now it is Caetano Tembo. Go Orlando, my brother.
What a start, what an ending. Fireworks to end off. A beautiful day and a beautiful start to this campaign in the top 8. We congratulate then our champions in SuperSport United.
Celebrations for SuperSport United, a second MTN8 title in 3 seasons. That is what it means to them.